Hey, it's Golden Buddha here, back with some more RPG horror stories for your listening pleasure. And this particular story is about being unjustly banned from a game of Mutants and Masterminds for out-of-character actions. Yeah, it seems really interesting, and I'm going to ask you guys to weigh in on it. Let me go ahead and roll the post. How I was banned from Mutants and Masterminds in AITA? Okay, it's short, in my opinion. And not as bad as others I've seen on here, but I've got nowhere else to post this, and I want to say it. I was new to Mutants and Mastermind. Wanted to try my hand at making a supervillain. I joined a Discord server with an invite from a friend. We will call him Soup. Soup plays a chicken with weather powers. Not a humanoid chicken, a chicken. He's a cyborg chicken. Due to this, everyone assures me that any character will be allowed as long as it's in the rules. GM has a weird rule set, but I'll live through it. I built a robot named Lockjaw with the power to shrink people down, disguise as others, and keep them incapacitated. His backstory was that he's an escaped Canadian android, originally built for containing villains but gone rogue. He stole the identity of Davy Bennett and is now part of an organization to create pills that grant the powers of other young supers for the non-soups. GM fails to mention that 80% of the population is super, and that they have a mega nullify, referred to as null, or plot null, in most used areas of the campaign. I learned this. Doesn't bother me. All my powers were innate anyways, due to being a robot. As I enter, he says I'm becoming a robot again. When I ask how, he says that the null also got rid of innate powers, even things such as an alien's extra limbs, and going as far as to change my ability scores and skills to 0. Learning this, I retire my Lockjaw, as he is now useless and can't do anything at all, being a known escaped supervillain. I start working on my next character. The next, I lost count, it was at least 3, characters aren't allowed. For stupid reasons of having a weaken effect that disappointed the GM and a variable descriptor that they didn't like, to having an immunity to bullets and magic and being able to reflect it. I admit, I made some broken characters for fun. I never expected them to get allowed either. But one of the next things I made was a boxer immune to dodge and parry attacks, and he was approved, and then recalled. When I asked why, it was because of his immunity. Okay, I offer limits for it, but he just says to shut up and build someone else. Then proceed to allow a character immune to all physical damage, can see and sink through objects, and isn't an incorporeal, so they can still hit you, even though it breaks the rules. I ask if I can use a variable like another character does. He says no. When I ask why, he says it's because he doesn't allow it. I'm now very mad. I feel like I'm being picked on. Then a moment happens I'll never forget. GM's pet player, in my opinion, with his own role in the server, it's just his name, he doesn't do anything but play, freaks out about pedophilia when my friend makes a joke about a 16-year-old dating a girl. Turns out 16-year-old boy is 35 years old mentally. Not pedophilia, we say. He doesn't listen. All is eventually forgiven. 1 week later, pet player posts a meme about dating 10-year-old girls, multiple of them. Says it reminds him of the GM. I'm confused and call BS because he harped on my friend for doing something not as bad. He says he harped on him because his bro was murdered. Ouch. To break the tension, I ended up making a very bad joke and then immediately say I'm sorry and that I'll delete it after I get back from the library. Other people can delete it as well, even pet player. Their favorite pastime, it seems, is deleting my everyday normal posts. When I get back, I'm banned from the server. They say I harassed multiple people, never made a character that could ever be allowed, and wasted their time. When I asked who I harassed, they say pet player, no one else. I say that's not multiple people. They now also block me. I have a friend reach out to a fellow player who says it was because I made the joke. She said that I joked about his brothers getting shot and one committing suicide. Only one bro was mentioned getting shot. Pet player is also very suicidal and has anxiety, not to my knowledge. Well, anxiety, yes. Suicide, no. She has also hated my guts since I joined, because I insisted that the create power has more than one cap, since they made a stupid power cap rule. She has already blocked me. Later, Soup informs me that a new player joined, with the name of Please Don't Ban Me, and a generic profile pic. He's instantly accused of being me. And that's the story of how I got banned. I didn't include everything, but included what I felt was important. I also have a question. Am I the bad guy here? I don't think I am, but I'm biased, and I want others' opinions. Bye. Alright, so let's take this step by step, okay? First off, with the whole thing about the GM banning his powers, that's really weird, okay? That's unnecessary. He should have just gave him the stuff up front, and we're giving this guy a lot of the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say the GM didn't tell him about this. Yeah, I know for mutants and masterminds, they have a system where you basically like your powers are point by. So if you want to shoot something that damages people, that's like 1 XP, and if you want to make a damage attack, that's 1 for damage, and then if you want to do like a ranged attack, that's 2 for like range. So you're spending 2 XP total to get a ranged damaging attack, and you can have variables on that. Yeah, it's stuff like that. So it's kind of easy to break depending on who you are. Mutants and masterminds can be fun, but you just have to like kind of set out rules out at first, and that's what the GM should have done. He should have been like, okay, well, we can do this, this, and that. That's how many points you're getting, and all of that. But it doesn't look like he did that from this point. And they're playing supervillains, it seems like, or he's the poster was playing a supervillain, and I always kind of say like, yo, you shouldn't really play villainous characters in an RPG. Like, RPGs are usually about good guys. Stories in general are usually about good guys. Or if you're going to play a villain, it's about like a villain becoming like a good guy, or like he's an anti-hero at best, you know? Yeah, it really just looks like it was pretty whack, honestly. He shouldn't have done that. The GM, I'm saying. It does seem like there was some favoritism. But again, we're looking at it from the original poster's, view, so take it with a grain of salt. The whole thing about like dating 16-year-olds and 10-year-olds, I don't know where the fuck that came from. Like, yeah, you probably shouldn't bring this up in a server. Just saying. Maybe they just got comfortable with each other and they were just like, oh, let's make this joke. Basically, the pet player made a joke about a pedophilia joke, and then you made a joke, and then they kicked you out. Yeah, it doesn't seem very fair at all. Honestly, you're probably better off for not even being in this group, man, if they're treating you like this. Because all of that stuff, like what can be said, what shouldn't be said, all that stuff needs to be put out in session 0 and when y'all meet up and all of that stuff. It doesn't need to be like put upon later, because then you have problems like this. Yeah, what was the joke you made, by the way? Because you said you made a joke and then you kind of just deleted it. So what I'm guessing is it was pretty bad if you couldn't repeat it. So maybe you did deserve to get kicked? I don't know, man. You're not giving me a whole lot to work with here. I don't know. You guys should weigh in on this. And there's a link in the description if you guys want to lay in and join the conversation. So, all right, until next time, this is Golden Buddha. Don't forget to like and subscribe.